You already know the story. A girl who wasn't afraid to die. A god who couldn't let her. He broke the oldest rule in existence. He gave her life back. He knelt before Odin, and he won. But here is what nobody tells you about stories like that. Winning is just where the harder part begins. Saren had her life back. She should have been grateful. She was. But life, real life, comes with things. Death had temporarily relieved her of hunger, cold, the particular loneliness of being the only person in the village who knew that death visited her every evening. He came at dusk, always, like he couldn't help it. He would sit with her, sometimes for hours, sometimes until almost dawn. The village noticed. Of course they noticed. A woman who had been dying for 3 years, suddenly well, and visited every night by a presence that made the temperature drop. They called her cursed. They called her witch. They stopped letting their children play near her home. She told Marin. He went very still, the way he went still when something was about to be destroyed. Don't, she said. They are frightening you, he said. They are afraid, she said. There is a difference, and you know it. He did know it. He had collected enough frightened souls to know exactly what fear looked like. He didn't destroy anything, but it cost him more than she knew. The deal Marin made with Odin had terms he hadn't fully read. He had been so focused on getting Saren her life back that he hadn't asked the most important question: for how long? The answer came 3 months later, from the shaman, an old woman who lived at the edge of the village and knew things she had no business knowing. The god bought you time, she told Saren. Not forever. Time. How much time? The shaman was quiet for too long. 1 year, she said finally. Odin gave him 1 year. After that, the debt comes due. Saren sat with that for a long time. Then she asked, does he know? The shaman looked at her with something that might have been pity. He's known since the beginning, she said. He just couldn't bring himself to tell you. He came at dusk. As always, she was waiting at the door, arms crossed, expression he had never seen on her before. 1 year, she said. He went still. You knew, she said. Since the beginning. You knew and you didn't tell me. I was going to. When? She said. A week before? A day? Were you going to sit across from me every evening and say nothing, until there was nothing left to say? He had no answer, because the answer was yes, because every evening with her was one evening closer to the last one, and he had chosen to pretend otherwise. I'm not angry, she said, and she wasn't. That was the most devastating part. She wasn't angry. I'm afraid, she said, and I need you to tell me the truth. All of it. Right now. He told her. All of it. For the first time. In 10,000 years. He told the whole truth. To someone who was still alive to hear it. A year. She had a year. Some people would have spent it grieving. Some would have spent it raging. Saren spent it living. Every morning she watched the sunrise. Every afternoon she walked further than she had the day before. Every evening she sat with Marin and gave him something no soul had ever given him. Her time, freely, knowing exactly what it cost. She taught him things. How bread smells when it's baking. How a fire sounds in the middle of the night. How it feels to laugh until your sides hurt. He had collected 10,000 years of souls. He had never learned any of this. And slowly, quietly, she did what nobody had ever done. To the god of death, She made him love being alive, even though he wasn't, even though he never could be. That was her gift to him, and her cruelty, and her love, all at once. The year ended on a Tuesday. She knew because she had counted. Every day, he came at dusk, as always, but this time he didn't sit down. She looked at him standing in her doorway, and she knew. "Tonight," she said. "Tonight," he said. She had prepared for this. She thought she had. She hadn't. "I have something for you," she said. She went inside, came back with a small carved wooden box. "Open it after," she said. "Not now. After." He took it, held it like it was the most fragile thing. In all the 9 realms, which it was, they sat together until the fire burned low. She fell asleep, the way she had that first night. Mid-conversation, he sat in the quiet, watching her breathe, for the last time, and when the moment came, the moment he had been dreading, for 365 days, he made it gentle, the gentlest he had ever made anything. In 10,000 years, she didn't wake. She simply stopped and crossed over. One last time, he waited. The way she had told him, he went back to his realm, to the dark, to the endless procession of souls. He did his work, as he always had, for 3 days. Then he opened the box. Inside was a piece of paper, 1 sentence, in her handwriting. He read it once, put it down, picked it up again, and for the first time, in 10,000 years of existence, the god of death wept. The note said, "I was never afraid of dying, but I was terrified of you being alone again, so I left you the one thing. Could, the memory of what it felt like, to be loved by someone who wasn't afraid of you. Don't forget it. Don't you dare forget it. Saren." He kept the note for 10,000 more years, and 10,000 after that, and every soul that crossed over, every king, every warrior, every frightened mortal who came to him trembling, he made it gentle, every single one, because she had taught him that the last thing anyone experiences should not be terror. It should feel like falling asleep by a fire, love. That was her gift to him, and through him, to everyone.